Kachunga, my friends, Kachunga. I am here, Rev, a Rev, and I ain't no Ricker, with the Lady Roz.
Evening, people. Hello.
How are we doing? I hope you're enjoying the lovely summer weather that's around at the moment. I know, it's been like rain, hot. Beautiful weather, absolutely gorgeous weather. Welcome to the show. Now we'll start with the usual humongous of. If you've enjoyed the show, please hit my thumbs up button. And if you haven't done so also already and would like to see some more, please hit the subscribe button, which is down below. And when you want to know they're coming out, ring that bell. Ring the bell, don't you know? Ring the bell, don't you know? Well, let's start. Hey, Google, give us a joke.
Okay, here you go. Thanks to its calorie and cholesterol content, the traditional full English breakfast is known as a heart attack on a plate. Modern English breakfast of a few spoonfuls of granola is known as a sigh in a bowl.
There you go.
You really wished you asked. Now?
Yeah, a joke with a difference there. Oh, I don't know. Well, how has your day been? You'll be glad to know you won't be getting any, we'll be seeing any side of a cat walk across the laptop today because basically he's not here. He's outside sunbathing in the sun, frigging little in the ass he is. But you have me. So for what weekend? We'll in the show with the time, and we will be doing a not top 10, a list of facts about something you'll find out later on. What will it be? What will it be? Ooh. Well, we'll start the show with title of Gobekli Tepe. You never heard? Who hasn't heard of Gobekli Tepe, eh? Well, Gobekli Tepe actually means, it translates, believe it or not, hill with a navel, or also translates into apparently Poppy Hill. It means the same thing. Yeah, it's found approximately 16 kilometers, 10 miles northeast of Sanherfa. Here we go again. These are these horrible names I have struggled pronouncing. Sanherfa, an ancient city in southeastern Turkey. Never go to Turkey at Christmas time. The country's not there for some bizarre reason. Once named Edessa, and known as a city of the prophets.
Wasn't that a file? Yeah, Odessa file.
Prophets. No idea. While this nearby city had a rich religious history, just how far religion stretched in this region was unknown until the discovery of Gobekli Tepe. The site is listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. The site is the oldest man-made place of worship yet discovered, dating back to 10,000 BCE. So it's not just before Christ. It's just before Christ and everything. That's what I reckon BCE stands for. The temples were discovered by German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt. Oh, pronounced that one correctly. Get in there! Who had previously worked on the Navali quarry site, and which is now known as to be dated by Gobekli Tepe. The temple contains 3-meter, 10-foot pillars situated in the round, shaped monolithic limestone. Each pillar contains carved reliefs of animals, gazelles, snakes, foxes, and lions, as well as abstract characters, dribble icons. Bones that have been discovered at the site suggest the hill was used for ritual sacrifices and feasts. Found in the cradle of civilization, Gobekli Tepe, or the hill, is rightfully named as you drive through the surrounding villages. German Kyo, Tepe Kyo, and Orensidu Kyo. My pronouncing's just gone back down the toilet. One or two ways to get to the site. You are directed to the ancient temple by signs spray painted on the wall. Thinking vandals, eh? Then you slowly drive up the hills in between fields that have been worked by farmers for centuries until you see it. A middle-aged man lying on his back with his shirt off. Gobekli Hill stands as the highest point in the area. Well, Gobekli Hill must be designed by an English bloke, I reckon. Hunter-gatherers who built the temple lived in a world that predated writing, metal, or pottery even. And at a time, archaeologists thought humanity had yet to group together to worship with priests and sacrifices. Yet these Neolithic worshippers somehow organised my throat's going. Somehow organised themselves to find a way to cut and transport these 16-ton stone pillars up a hill and arrange them in a circular, realistic pattern. Doesn't this sound familiar, eh? Doesn't it sound familiar? Hill was littered with an enormous amount of Neolithic flint tools, knives, choppers, and projectile points. These tools are not out of the ordinary. The sheer number of them is something of a phenomenon. And the fact that they were used to build a religious site in a time when many historians and archaeologists believe temples and religious practices of this kind do not yet exist, makes this an even more interesting discovery. Significant in understanding the development of religion. Historian E. Schmidt believed that what he called this cathedral on a hill was a pilgrimage destination, attracting worshippers up to 160 kilometres of distance. Discovery of Gobekli Tepe suggests, at least to the archaeologists, the human sense of the sacred and the human love of a good spectacle may have given rise to civilization itself. As excavator Klaus Schmidt put it, first came the temple, then the city. Schmidt believes that civilization rose not due to ecological reasons, as has been this consensus, but rather than civilization is the product of the human mind. A theory that would change the landscape ecology and our understanding of history. Even with these new theories and changes in understanding the development of civilizations, religions, and cities, at present Gobekli Tepe still raises more questions for archaeology and prehistory than it answers. The site seems to have lost its relevance and was abandoned in the 8th millennium BCE. But it clearly has strong implications for our understanding of the ancient world today. That is Gobekli Tepe. And I know I can't put pictures up. I know because I'm live and I don't know how you put the pictures up and stuff. You can't see the site. But trust me, if you even go on Google Maps and have a look at it, have a look at this site. It's absolutely amazing. And the sheer size of these T-shaped pillars, it will just blow your mind. I thought she was going to say something then. We've done that bit already. And I'll tell you this. No.
Goodbye.
She's going to cook me dinner. Oh, so that's right. She's going. What's doing? The Lady Roz is going. Ooh. So now, go to the second part of the show. The second part. The parts I have fun doing. did you know part. Did you know that part? Yeah, that part. And I thought at the part, I thought, what can I do a did you know about? I thought, what can I do a did you know about that weekend dress? So I thought I would do, did you know about America, United States of America? And when I was going through this list earlier on, I didn't know half of this stuff. And I was like, whoa, really? What, really? 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 So we'll start with the usual stuff. The USA is a vast country and one that's incredible to explore. I love going to America. I mean, there's not that many countries that span for thousands of miles and include tropical and Arctic climates in one place and still have room for plenty of interesting facts. On the shores of Florida and epic cities like New York, and my hat in San Francisco, the whole country has got loads to see. What's even more interesting is a huge mix of cultures, taking natural landscapes and interesting facts that have made the USA well. USA. It doesn't matter if you live in the United States, if it's your first visit or you've visited gazillions of times, there's always some pretty interesting facts to know. I swear, I always learn something new about the US on every visit. Well, not me personally, because I've been at one. I just have to share some gems that I thought you'd find interesting. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Did you know? Did you know? New York was once named New Amsterdam. Now, personally, it's a good thing they changed their name because that song New York wouldn't work the same with New York wouldn't work the same as New Amsterdam. Well, it wouldn't work that well. Well, I'll explain. Before New York was, well, New York, it was called New Amsterdam as a settlement for the Dutch that chose to settle in Manhattan. The name New York only came into being later in the 17th century when those pesky English who captured it. The name New York was to pay tribute to the Duke of York who helped in capturing it. Today you can still see the plaques of where New Amsterdam's wall was built in 1653. Definitely an interesting fact. On Wall Street, no less. Hey, did you know that one? Did you know? Did you know that a palace made totally out of corn? No, this isn't a corny joke either. You can actually visit a life-size corn palace in the United States. It sounds like something legends are made of, but I assure you it's true. I couldn't believe it when I saw it on the video in person. I mean, a palace you can potentially eat. Not sure it beats the other Mount Rushmore in the scale, but certainly does with kennels. Kennels. This was a bit boundary-wise. Did you know Statue of Liberty speaks French where it doesn't? Okay, yeah, I'm just, it doesn't speak French. The Statue of Liberty was actually a gift from the people of France to the United States in 1886. Possibly the most ironic symbol of the United States, the Statue of Liberty is one ironic piece of history you have to see when in New York or New Amsterdam. Funny enough, the United States then decided to give the French a smaller Statue of Liberty as a gift 3 years later. It can now be seen proudly standing at Point de Grenelle in Paris. Maybe the American version talks with the New York twang. Who knows? Who knows? Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Alaska was once Russian. In the earlier parts of the 19th century, Alaska wasn't part of the USA. In fact, it was a part of Russia. It wasn't until it was sold off to the Americans that it became a US territory. It wasn't until almost 100 years later, in 1959, that Alaska actually became a state. The state now has the numerous national parks and even the tallest mountain in the United States called Denali. Denali. No, I didn't know this. Did you know? Did you know the Liberty Bell is from London? It's pesky English again. Possibly one of the United States' most symbolic pieces for the American independence, the Liberty Bell still survives for us all to visit. Perched in the Liberty Bell Center in Pennsylvania, it's a spot where you can learn more about American independence and such. Interestingly, and pretty unusual fact, the Liberty Bell was actually made in the same place as Big Ben in London. The Whitechapel Bell Foundry made both bells, and is one of the oldest privately owned bell makers in the world. You can still visit the Whitechapel Bell Foundry today. Just make sure you get across the pond to London, unless you're in England already. There's a shop. Did you know? Did you know? There's a shop inside a dinosaur's tummy. Only in America, right? Dinosaurs at Camberson was originally created to entice customers to a restaurant. Now they've become a thing to see in their own right. These kitsch dinosaurs are a nostalgic throwback to the 1970s. Nowadays, you can still visit the dinosaurs and even shop within the tummy of Benny the dinosaur. There you go. Did you know? Did you know? The Golden Gate Bridge never stops getting a makeover. Interesting facts about San Francisco. Did you know that the Golden Gate Bridge is one of the West Coast's most iconic man-made landmarks that's forever been made over? It's one amazing place to see, especially from the Golden Gate Bridge vista point. Due to its sheer size, the bridge actually never stops getting painted and is always getting itself a little makeover for us to enjoy. After all, we all want to look our best, don't we? Did you know? Talking about bridges. Did you know London Bridge is in Arizona? Now, almost 200 years ago, this was the case, but things change with time, don't they? By the 1960s city of Lake Havana, Arizona was on the scout for a new bridge. And hearing that London Bridge was up for auction, decided to put in a bid to bring it to their city. After all, who wouldn't want those iconic towers and open arches, right? Wrong. That's Tower Bridge in London. It's reported that Matt Pinnock, who bought the bridge, thought it was Tower Bridge. Now, this was totally denied by him. Whatever the case, London Bridge now sits happily in Arizona. Much less rain and fog for sure. And did you know? Did you know? You can find lots of secret spots in New York. Places like City Hall Station are stunning. And although you can't always visit them, they do exist between the sidewalks. The whole city is awash with little nooks and crannies and alleys that are hidden in plain sight. Scratch the surface of the city, and I guarantee you'll find a gold mine of new and secret spots to explore. Number 10 is we're getting there. I hope you enjoyed this. Did you know facts? Did you know there are actually 43 giant presidential heads? Now, if that isn't one of the most interesting facts about heads, I don't know what is. Hidden in Houston, Texas, was one of the most bizarre sights to see. Giant presidential heads around 15 feet high. There's a whole heap of these carved presidential heads that once called an old parking lot home. I mean, it was a sight to behold, especially in such an underwhelming parking lot. Rumor has it they have now made their way to Croker, Virginia. Wherever the case, there are still some heads created by David Atkinson, Atticus. Yeah, you should try and find. If you're lucky, you might even bump into his colossal Beatles figures too. Did you know? Did you know the United States has the longest cave system in the world? to scratch the surface of Kentucky, and you'll come across some incredible natural sights to explore. For instance, the Mammoth Cave National Park actually has the longest cave system in the world, and the place that's great to visit. Do you know? I'm sure you do know this one. The North Pole is in it's blah, blah, blah. The North Pole is in Alaska. Alaska. The tiny town of North Pole in Alaska is a crispy little place that embraces everything festive 365 days a year. Visit Santa in his grotto, see the elves at work, and drive down Santa Claus Lane. I mean, who knew there was a North Pole in the United States? Yeah. Did you know? Did you know? Hawaii is the only archipelago state. Hawaii is an incredible, beautiful volcanic archipelago consisting of numerous islands that each have their own charm. Interestingly, it is the only United States that's solely made up of islands. Yeah. And last but not least, did you know there's a wigwam hotel to stay in? First created in 1950s Arizona, the Wigwam Hotel is a total nostalgic idea of quirky hotels from time gone by. Still to this day, you can rock up and stay for the night. Just make sure to book in advance as a room fill up fast. So, there you go. That is this week's Did You Know? How many of those facts did you know? How many of those did you know? Tell me if you enjoy. I would love to know if you enjoy the did you know fact, because if you like hearing them, I can bring some more out. And which of those facts did you actually know? Eh? Which of those facts? The only one that threw me out the most, and I had no idea about that, no idea about it at all, was the one about New Amsterdam. I never knew New York was once called New Amsterdam. I mean, some of it I didn't know, but that's the one that really threw me out. And I was like, so it's now come to the time, the sad time, where we if you've enjoyed the video, if you've enjoyed this video, how bizarre it may be, please hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see what this video's next out, subscribe below. And when you want to know when the videos are coming out, please ring that bell and I'll let you know when the videos come out. And please, if you have enjoyed these videos, please tell your friends. Tell your friends about it. They may enjoy the show. And on that note, it's time to say Chibalob. From Trev Rev, and it ain't no vicar. Until next time, bye bye.